Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's Monday, December 7th, 2020. And I'm in my room getting ready to go on an appointment. And I just had to say something. The reason I had to say something is because my neighbor's outside on his veranda, which is just there, and I can hear him. Hello, Michelle. How are you? Wow, we caught each other in, so that's good. Good. I hope you're well. Gary's been posting, a friend of mine, ours, Michelle, who's in the chat, and I have a friend, a mutual friend called Gary, and his wife, Andrea. And they've been broadcasting stuff a lot. And I've been contacted a lot by people peripheral and also people who should be talking to Gary, not talking to me. Talking to Gary because he seems to be better at interactions. My job as a messenger is to get messages and then give them out. But I do it in musical form, and I do it in lots of different ways, but mostly in musical form. So as it's a gentler approach, and I'm not trying to find answers. I'm not trying to I'm seeking my own inner truth, obviously. As a human being, we all should. What resonates with us, what we intuit. But I'm also working for some light warriors, some very, very powerful light warriors. One in particular who has warned me about, no, this is the reason I'm on today. So, Michelle, this is how I am. One of the groups I'm in is very well informed, very, very brilliant. And, we're in I don't even know what it is. I never even know the apps on my phone. Probably have to meet tomorrow. Okay. Womb. So, I'm on WhatsApp and Telegram and all these different platforms. Womb. Did you know that womb, matrix, is a word for womb, is a word for womb. Womb, and I get it every time, so I know I don't know. I mean, whatever. So that, look at the exact same times here. Okay. So the groups I'm in, some of them are Q related. Matrix means womb. They've been infiltrated, and they've been infiltrated by a dark force. The dark force I cannot name because it would promote that person and his plans. But he's infiltrated a group of friends of mine who are very big influencers, and they're in the UK for the most part, I think. So they've been infiltrated. They're singing the praises of a man who's presented himself as some sort of white-hatted savior, and that white-hatted savior is actually takes off his white hat. Underneath is a black hat. He's a black magician, and this black magician has infiltrated the Q group, one of the Q groups that is a big influence in the UK, and my light warrior friend is dealing with it. And so why did I come on? Well, one of the reasons was that. That's a specific, but in the broader picture, this push me, pull you, push me, pull you, you know, are we pulled or are we pushed? You know, it's push me, pull you situation in the world where fear and love are it's fear versus love, it's freedom versus tyranny, and it's simple which side to fall on, but the powerful tool users of history always use fear. Excuse me, just ate breakfast. I ate it fast because I'm supposed to be leaving fairly soon to go on my appointment. So within enlightened groups, there are dark personalities. You know, it's like when I think as a child I was told, you don't think good people do bad things? You don't think bad people do good things? Well, a lot of bad people are doing good things in order to win your confidence. And yes, there's infiltration everywhere. That's why we feel like we're in a push me, pull you situation. And Michelle, you're right, and they have infiltrated. The thing is, they're easy for me to spot. They're easy possibly for you to spot, Michelle, but for many people, because of the fear porn that is whipping around the world all the time, many people latch on to the first white hat they see. You know, it's like, oh, you know, this person's, but many are wearing these ridiculous white hats. I haven't got a white hat. Yeah, savior complexes. I mean, I think half awake people. Excuse me a minute. That's better. I had to shut out the light because my neighbour's listening in. And so, savior complexes. Yes. Yeah, many people go on personal journeys. One of whom I really like, called Russell Brand, and he's an actor that went on a personal journey and kind of rejected most things about that are ego based, and that is very important. And I think his work is great. He even did a tour where he had pictures of saviors, and you know, it was called the Messiah Complex, or some tour that he did, and it was good because he was presenting his own awakening, but it was a vehicle for his own. Sorry, going out in public like this soon, bugger. It's not ego, it's vanity. Okay, so getting distracted. The message I want to put out today: follow the heart, follow the intuition, not this. You know, I very rarely watch anything on television. Occasionally, because I help my ex and my kids, I go to their house and the TV's on, and I've been watching little snippets of what they see, and then I'll watch maybe something. I'll say, can we watch YouTube? And I'll pick a subject or something that I like and put that on if they allow it. But sometimes the news plays, and I do watch live soccer sometimes, and even the soccer commentators now are getting in on the fear porn. They're saying things like, oh, that COVID test, the positive, and they say things about the situation rather than just commentate on the match, and that's starting to get a little annoying. But it's this infiltration, you see, it gets in your psyche. There is no COVID-19. There you go. Oh, Jewel lyric. It's funny, you know, I art directed a Jewel video many years ago. See, I get distracted. You're going to distract me, Michelle? It's okay. I got a few minutes. Yes, Jewel is lovely, and or was. I don't know. I didn't get to know her personally. I chatted to her. She was funny, and I did a video. Art directed the video for her, and she was fun to work with, and the video was very good and very funny, directed by a Hollywood director now who's become very famous and does movies and TV shows. But I recognized and realized the fame game a long time ago and thought, nah, not for me. So yeah, added distractions. Jewel, nice person, kind of fabricated a little bit the beginning of her career, saying she slept in her car and played at coffee shops until she became famous. But you know, whatever. I mean, whatever tool to get you onto your platform, as long as your platform becomes a real thing rather than a fake thing. So you know, you're creating a persona. The persona, you know, I mean, I don't want to get into Jungian psychology and platforms and personas and archetypes. What I want to do is relay the message that look out for those fake saviors. Because there are good people at work. I mean, lots of good people at work. Light warriors are just flying around fixing stuff, and this world we can ascend. This is abundant planet. This is our planet. We're free beings. Stay free. Use your intuition. Know what's good. Know what's bad. Recognize your own fallibility. We're all human, so there are mistakes to be made. Put what you can into a creative force, not a destructive force. Make a creative. If you're unsure and you can't trust the conspiracy theories, or you can't trust the fake news, or you can't trust your intuition, but if you're not sure which way to go, be creative. Just get something in front of you, even if it's like a simple sketch pad, and doodle, but allow your mind to free itself of this monkey brain chatter that's going on in the world right now, because otherwise you're just going to get distracted to the point where dark forces can keep going forward. So, you know, yes, there's a lot of people that are strong enough to actually protest and show other people, and that's part of my job as a messenger, is to take that and interpret it. But I do it in music and art, and other people, like I mentioned before, Gary and this other guy I've tried to talk to called Colin, and a lot of light warriors are out there working. Aurora, probably Michelle, I don't know. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Oh my gosh. And because it's an En Vogue lyric, I have to say it, you see. I work with En Vogue. And I work with En Vogue and the Muppets. And the Muppets did Elmer Palooza. And En Vogue were one of the groups I worked with to art direct this part of Elmer Palooza music videos. There's no such thing as coincidence, Michelle, and you know that. And so I'm going to try not to get distracted by you, even though I love being distracted by you because you are such a brilliant and funny person. Gosh, if I was 30 years younger and you were single. But again, the rascal in me is the rascal in me. And I can't get past that human aspect. Anyway, I've just finished a song and released it called The Mothership. And the reason I released The Mothership is because the person I'm working with is a light warrior, and I'm their messenger, I suppose. Though I'm free to do whatever I want to do. I'm working as their messenger. Gosh, such a distraction all the time. Yeah, it's the work I do musically. The Mothership is about working with my friend, who's a light warrior, and she's working with and directly with Gaia, Mother Earth, as a conscious entity rather than as a planet. So as a conscious entity, Gaia has said we are winning the battle. Gaia had to sleep for a while because there have been major battles and had to replenish. But now Gaia is strong again and working with my light warrior friends, and we're in a ascendancy. Some have ascended already, and some are being told to help others, and that's part of my role. So here I am. Deep thoughts here and now. Did someone say En Vogue? Hello. Yeah. Hello. Deep thoughts here and now. Here now. Here now. So important. Here now. Nice. So yeah, the key reason I did this, and I have to go in 5-10 minutes. Okay, but the key reason I did this particular live one, even though it's usually only to myself, for later, somebody may watch it, somebody may not. But the specific reason was to let people know that there are dark forces, heavily disguised as good forces, that are offering succor for our fear. Now, they gave you the fear, and now they're offering succor. They gave you the fear anonymously, and now they're saying, oh, come here, I can help. And we all need that. We need that hug. But to be hugged by the dark forces, no. So realizing who's dark and who's not, the real recognition comes down to our individual intuition, or alternatively listening to somebody who may or may not be able to help. So that's my job as a messenger. And in my music, I try and seed my music with positivity that is real. So this is the mothership, Gaia, and I'm going to take that ride. I'm betting on humanity. I've always been a optimist, which is maybe why I was chosen to be a messenger. But I've always been an optimist because I believe that humanity is on the ascension. That old brilliant song by the sad really a very sad life, but he was a brilliant songwriter. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised was a great song, and I can't remember the singer, only because you'll tell me. Actually, Gary Lawrence chat. Oh, okay. This is my friend. She's awesome. Deep Thoughts Here and Now. Hi, Deep Thoughts Here and Now. Misha, Ian Curtis from Joy Division. Oh my gosh. I mean, talk about somebody plagued, absolutely plagued by infiltration of dark forces, and he shrugged them off. I mean, God, what a fight that man had. I mean, what a fight. I mean, so sad that it drove him completely insane, and he took his own life. Yeah, the story of Ian Curtis. And they made a great movie, and it was really well done. It was, I think, co-written by his ex-wife. So it highlights the physical problems of a love triangle, which, that was his human self, but they didn't cover enough for me of his internal struggle. But then how can you do that? I mean, it's really hard to get inside my own mind, let alone so anyway, but it was a really good movie, the Ian Curtis movie. But I was talking about, the revolution will not be televised. Great song, brilliant songwriter, wrote a bunch of really good songs. He wrote another song that I love called Johannesburg. What's the word? Johannesburg. I'd look it up, but that means I'd have to be distracted again. But the revolution will not be televised. The evolution will not be televised. That's what the media, the mainstream media, is not just distracting us with lies and bullshit and trying to coerce us into taking vaccines we don't want and all. Yes, they're doing all that, but they're also not showing you anything about the positive aspect of where we are in our human evolution. So I may do a version of the song. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be part of my task or not. But I like the idea of the evolution will not be televised. The ascension that we are witnessing, the ascension of humanity, is that's never going to be covered by those that are stuck in this 3D brick and mortar world. It's never going to be covered because it's almost too esoteric to explain to anybody that's firmly gripped onto this plane. So, there's a letting go process. I used to write. I think I've put it in a few songs. It's you got to hold on to letting go. That old oxymoron, that old flip. It's a hold on to letting go. I mean, the whole process is to flow with everything and flow with the divine, and it's so clear that the light. Oh, it's producing stripes on my face. That the light is the attractor, not the dark. The light, so forward to the light, not backward to the dark. Yeah. Okay. That's about it, I think. Let me read some stuff. Sunken deeply into 3D. No. No, 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 no. Gil Scott Heron. Of course it is. Thank you. Deep thoughts here now. Sometimes it's like names slip my mind, because my mind is always active. Well, my mind is the projection. My brain is always active, and my mind is not projecting what my brain is processing. It's bleh. So deep thoughts here now. Who are you? If you're a friend of Michelle's, then you're a friend of mine. Nigel's music channel is called Tolemental. Okay. All right. The last 4 years I've let go of so much. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. It's so important though. Well, I say you have no idea. I don't know you, my love. I will get to know you. I want to get to know you. So, yeah, letting go. Things are easy to let go because you can always get more things. That's easy. People, not so easy. I've been married twice. My first wife, I had to let her go. She had to let me go. It didn't work. We were together 20 years. She was my childhood sweetheart. My second wife, 16 years married, 20 odd years together. I mean, I'm still geographically close. Because my children were being raised by her, which they should be, not by me, separately. There was no fight. I had to leave because I couldn't present to my children the conflict that my wife and I were going through as a normality. I couldn't do that. I just couldn't. So I had to hurt myself in order to heal myself. Sad, isn't it? But the relationship is so strong now between my ex and myself because of our love bond through our children, not through ourselves. I mean, we don't any of that, but we do this and we do this. The rascal in me still would like, but I cannot live with my ex. She's too much for me to handle. She's a constant reminder of the monkey brain. You know, she's a constant reminder of what's wrong in the world instead of the promoter of what we should be doing right, you know, as humans. So it's really difficult. I mean, I'm not denying it's difficult, but yeah, she broke my heart, and I've had my heart broken twice, and I really don't want to go through that again. But you know what? There's a side of me that needs to be connected with human beings of like minds and like thoughts, and that's a part of me that's always going to be a man, and that's okay. It's all right. It's perfectly acceptable. But I've not been ready because my children are only just able to be out in this wicked world of Los Angeles. 20 and 18 years old, both very strong women, and both independently independently working in this world to be good people, and quietly shadowed by a protective father, a little overshadowed by an overprotected mother, but I do understand that aspect too. Anyway, that's a lot of personal stuff. People are obsessed with this twin flame crap and justify being their other person, even though they might be irritated. So very much so. I mean, the thing is, the twin flame is a bogus way of them saying, them excusing themselves. It's a bogus way, and you're right. But I do believe that within each of us, there is a male and female light energy that has to be balanced. That's within us. That's not external. That's nothing to do with relationships, but that's within us. And I think that bridge is through the pineal gland, through cleansing, through being a good person. And I'm really ranting, and I've really got to go. And that dinging is my phone saying, I've got to go. Yeah, I mean, really important work is the inner work to get the male and female light energies within you. I mean, it's the same with the bigger picture too, the Gaia, the whole way we are within consciousness. It's balancing the male and female energies so as we can have left and right brain working in conjunction with the one projection that is our mind, that is our hearts, that is our soul, that is our spirit. All of these things have to be balanced within us before we can actually operate in an outward way. A lot of human beings go out there with this one side, or the other side, and it's like, the balance is essential, I believe. All of my talk is, I believe, so that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Free. I have my own twin flame, of course. That's it. Yes. Sometimes I goes live for an hour or longer. I do. Today, not so. Harmony and balance. Yes, people are in dissonance. Yes, and the general consensus, I believe, is that we have a dissonant fracture. I wrote a song called Dissonant. I can't remember. Yeah, Dissonant Fracture, that I put on our last album. Dissonant fracture of all I hold dear, and that dissonant fracture is an infiltration into consciousness by evil people, dark forces, bringing cognitive dissonance as a collective. Jungian psychology went a lot deeper than Freudian psychology, but Jungian psychology explains rather well how the collective consciousness is usurped from time to time. And I believe that the cognitive dissonance that was projected into consciousness was from a dark force. And it promoted this dissonant fracture for a while, which is now being healed. I mean, again, push me, pull you. I mean, am I pushing? I don't know. Am I? Might be. Am I being pulled? I don't know. I might be. The thing is, my intentions are pure. I don't want to manipulate anybody. I just want to show them the light. I think once people have seen it, I just watched a bunch of friends of mine talking in a Zoom meeting for them, and they were all going around in circles with hypotheses and ideas and projections, and really good people. One of them was a tremendous light warrior, and she's amazing. But she hit the nail on the head. It's like we've got a situation now where we can clearly see that we're ascending, but we can't falter at this point. If we start to falter at this point, then the chances are we have to, cycle back in order to get back on the path. It's really difficult, but I can't explain it particularly well. But this wonderful, beautiful, abundant earth that we're on, all of us, is transitioning into what it truly is. I mean, I believe that we may have been put onto this projection of Gaia. God, it's going to get really convoluted if I try and explain it, and it's not going to make much sense. I'm sorry. The real earth is beautiful and abundant and somewhat still behind any veil for many people. And that veil is being lifted, and a lot of people can see the abundant earth for what it is, and we're already going there, and it doesn't, and many people are going, yeah, I'm sorry, but I can't reach back. I can't help you. But it's like, no, to me, it's just a choice, but my choice is to try and get as many people through the portal. This is a portal into what we can be instead of what we were and what we have been. And so if we have the opportunity to bring others with us, then that's why not? I mean, gosh, the more the merrier. I mean, yeah, be aware of that, dragging dark people in. But the thing is, if you show them the light, I think they're going to choose it anyway. I look at myself sometimes in this reflection, and I think, who's saying this? I am. But it's not an I ego. This is I don't know. Breathe. Breathe. It's better. Goodness. All right. Deep thoughts on that. Well, dig the shirt out of it. Hello. Another one. Gosh, I'm very tempted to stay a little bit further. Prana. Yeah, the shirt was made by a friend of mine called Rico Adair. He gave it to me. I DJ'd at his art gallery when he had an art gallery. He's now a building contractor. He's a brilliant guy, Rico. He got caught in the human trap. He started to become a very successful artist and designer, and bought into the game. Got a store, got another store. But he also hung on to, and again, it's the hanging on to, he hung on to a punk rock ethos, because he's a former punk rocker. He's a great bass player. He's a brilliant guy. But he got, in the same way that I got trapped inside the film business for a little bit, got trapped in the idea that oh, I can take this for a ride. But in order to enter that arena, you have to have a certain amount of it's not the goods you're carrying, it's the system of delivery. Okay. He created some great stuff. He created the shirt for me out of recycled materials. He designed a lot of dresses. He designed a couple dresses that I bought for my daughter, my daughters, out of old T-shirts and stuff that he used to recycle and upcycle and all that stuff. It became quite popular. But of course, as soon as you do something as a small producing artist, it gets mimicked by the big guys. So all his little ideas and designs and templates and things that he used to do and all that stuff, he were usurped. I mean, you know, it's big fish eats the little fish, and it was such a reminder to me of how quickly that happens. And he had the opportunity at one point to get his stuff, you know, from the design stage mass produced somewhere else, but he was so held back by the liberal, and I use the word liberal wrongly, but it's like by the neoliberal left-wing archetype of fake independence. He was so held back by that paradigm that he refused to grow, even though he could have worked with an army of seamstresses and employed them and paid them well to do that. He saw that as a sellout. So he could only produce enough items to keep in his one store. And then, of course, those items were sold at a reasonable price. So he was ending up working 48 hours a day, producing and selling. I mean, it was an impossible business model. And, you know, he ends up, and his journey hasn't finished. I mean, he's building, he's creating, he's designing as he builds. I mean, he's just taken a different course, you know. This is a beast system. I think Gary calls this the beast system. You know? And I think music and art, it's funny, Gary and I, backward and forward, did a little bit of correspondence the other day, and I said I've been putting out music for a long time, and you know, I've been capped, you know, shadow banned or whatever. You know, you reach a certain amount of likes and then it doesn't grow, and yet you know that more people are listening to it, so there should be more hits on social media, but there aren't. And then it's, you know, so you know, I mean, at a certain point, you know you're being banned, and it's like, well, okay, that's okay. As long as I can sell a few T-shirts, sell a few songs, I can keep this roof over my head, and I don't care because I like making music anyway. So back to the Rico example, you know, I don't mind it being small at the moment. It's okay, because the bigger picture is we're all ascending. So this abundant earth, my rewards will come to me because I'm promoting this abundant earth as our vehicle for ascension. So my rewards will come later. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Gary and I were backwards and forwards and you know, he likes to call the world, but not Gaia, but the fake planet that we're on, that may be a projection from darkness, and then we're ascending into the real planet, whatever. But you know, I don't want to I'm still trying to explain it again, but he calls this the beast system, and I understand what he's talking about, because he's talking about, like, you know, the dark web, the dark matrix, the dark forces, the deep state, you know, all of those things are what runs this ugly side of what we're witnessing in the world at the moment. And he said my music is something, is either brilliant and beautiful or good and beautiful or something. People, the beast doesn't like that. It makes it vomit. And I thought about it. It's like, I might write a song called Ipecac for the beast, because I want to make the beast sick. I do. I mean, I really do want to make the beast system sick. I want it. I want it. I want it to go. And it doesn't really truly understand empaths. It doesn't really truly understand compassionate people. It doesn't understand love. So it needs to go. I mean, it needs to go because of those reasons. Even if it presents itself with a white hat, it still has to go if it doesn't understand that love is the greatest force in the universe. And so, I mean, if I can produce Ipecac for the beast, then that's my job. So I might write a song about it or call an album that, and then have a series of songs. Who knows? These ideas come to me and I may make a note of them, but I still have to rely on what comes in. And again, I'm going to be late. You can make a cauldron of it, throw things in there. Yes, of course, and we all do. Ipecac Records, Mike Penn. Oh, what a great man. Oof. Yeah. Love is truly the most powerful. Agreed. I entered song into 3-5D would be, well, I'm still an asshole. Of course. And there are many people that realize and recognize that rascality within themselves, and bring it to the front, because that's the greatest defense mechanism we have against the dark forces, is to meet them with this. But what we have to be really careful of is it becoming all this, and so yes, major satisfaction would be, and I'm still an asshole. Yes, I mean, our humanity is what makes us beautiful. Our rascality is part of our humanity. Again, the balance, the dark and light, the two light bodies, the male, the female, the connection to energy. Do I mistake love for lust? Sometimes. Yes, I mean, all of those things are human, and they're perfectly acceptable parts of humanity. We can't ever, we can't ever mimic God. This is the problem with the God program. The God program is preventing us from attaining that knowledge of love being the most universal and powerful force within our known multiverses. So it prevents religion, does it very well, but the God program, which is a program that's been running in humanity, I think probably even if there were such a thing as cavemen, but even since then, it's this God program that ran in our heads. And the God program depends heavily upon hierarchy and ego, and hierarchy and ego is what's keeping us firmly rooted in the darkness. So I'm going to open the blinds now, because I'm getting attracted to the idea of using the words dark and light, because I'm seeing the dark and light across my face. So I'm going to open the blinds. Excuse me. And there it goes. Still got stripes. Oh well. I've opened the shop. Oh, whatever. Oh, my neighbour. Hi, Dennis. Dennis works on cars. He does great work on cars. He's an old school guy. Takes apart old cars and puts them back together, and you know. But he's old guard. You know, he's a brilliant person. He's old guard, and he tells stories about cars that are, you know, so zen-like, and yet he's completely oblivious to their zen quality. You know, so in some cases he does get it himself. You know, he does understand it, but I don't think he even knows what zen is. He probably thinks it's a new model Ford or something, the Ford Zen. You know, so yeah, they'll sell you anything. Yeah, so I mean, I love him to death. He's a great guy. All right. Love me a Stingray. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't read the comments. Bless you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, poor Dennis. He's 66. He looks like a miniature version, like a shrunken down version, not shrunken in a nasty way, but like a 2/3 scale model of Clint Eastwood. I mean, he really does, and he talks like him too. Not the accent, but more like the gruff way in which Clint Eastwood is portrayed. I mean, I don't know Clint Eastwood. I only met him once, and that was in his restaurant. And of course, he was playing the part of a restaurant owner. But yeah, Dennis has a definite Clint Eastwood quality about him. Huge Trump supporter, and you know, bless him for that too, because you know he just likens everything to 1950s and 60s and 70s cars. That he's working on one right now. It's a Corvair, and he's rebuilt it. It's so beautiful. I mean, he's painting it. He's had no end of problems because he's financially strapped. Anyway, yes, I'm blushing. Of course, I'm blushing. Howdy McCroskey talks on YouTube. Looks like Shrunker Penis too. Oh well. Talk spirituality. Good. Good. So anyway, I've got to leave. I really have to, because this journey is important for me. I have to be on this appointment. So I'm going to bless you all, and hopefully we'll live a blessed, and we'll have a blessed day, and love and peace. Very important. Deep analysis of Plato's Cave. I'm blushing, and gosh, signing out. Lots of love. Thanks for the chat. And I don't know where Deep Thoughts Here Now is, but you know, let's be friends. Michelle, and who was the other person? Outernet 101. Brilliant. Good to chat, and I've got to go. I'm going to end stream and get out of here. Love and peace.